we've entered a weird spot. Like when it comes to how Mishima does chapters, usually when he ends a chapter with an idea of how the next chapter is going to go. Like obviously, what was it? The previous chapter, Laxus was saying how he didn't really care for the lacrima in his chest anymore, and he wanted to take it out. But you knew the fight was going to continue, and there's a general understanding of when we leave chapters for the most part, and have content to kind of like aim at where things are going to go. Right now we're at a really weird spot because we're at one of those points where it seems the fight may have ended and we don't have actually anything else going on currently besides the stuff with Dogremag. And that's why like I think that like the next chapter is going to really set up a tone for the next bit, because like there's the obvious chance that Kieran is just done. He's defeated, and we're gonna have to kind of aim into the next direction of events. But like what's really left except for Dogremag? Like I said, there's always the possibility, like keep that like mental aspect, keep that picture of Kieran is done, we're going to be moving on to the next part, which I feel like is pretty much just what's going on with Dogremag. You know, what else could really take up that much focus? Like we have the whatever Ignea's planning, but unless we're gonna like focus over to Ignea, which would be really surprising, just because like with what events are going, I feel like he's just gonna go do whatever his plan is. We're not gonna find out until after things are settled over on the you know, protagonist side of things. But if there is, because like obviously Mishima likes, you know, he likes to do his plot twists, right? When things start to settle, he likes to throw a wrench in there and make things chaotic. And that's why I picked up this lacrima for the picture, really, for this one, because it's, you know, it's not anything crazy, but it's very realistic in that Kieran could really grab this in the next chapter, eat it, and power himself up, because Laxus doesn't really look tired, so their fight could continue, you know, obviously could, and it could further progress into maybe a shifting of the tides for Diablos, because like with the aspects of like, okay, the next chapter we're gonna get to the Dogremag fight, I mean, that's cool. Like obviously I'm gonna be excited just because I want to see Dogremag. I'm very interested in his character, but there's not really a lot to go off of in just a general conversation of okay, well, what's gonna happen of that? I mean, I assume they're gonna fight. Like anything about Dogremag's backstory and personality that we haven't seen yet is completely up to like large scale speculation, not just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, we've got a couple things from the chapter and we're gonna try and figure out like where things are gonna be directed in soon. It's like, no, we just got this character and he's lore heavy and important, but we don't really know like anything for him yet. It's just kind of a waiting game on that. But with the other characters, say like Diablos members get back up, Misaki gets back up to have another round with hers, the Scullion and Madden will get up to have their fights with Gray and Gajul. Kieran's fight continues. The only one I would say like I don't really believe it would continue would be the Haku and Wendy stuff. The only way that I could see Haku coming back to have another round, like, because like, would be if he decided to fight a little bit more seriously. He decided to put more effort towards fighting Wendy, because if it's not, I don't really see how he's gonna make a similar reappearance. Because with the other characters, like when you look at it, Misaki would make sense to want to fight Urza again out of frustration. Kieran would want to just like fight Laxus again for the sake of fighting him. He seems to like me, as an interest in him. And on top of that, they're 1-on-1, so like it'd be a tiebreaker, so it would make sense why he would want to go fight him again. And then, I mean, Mad Mole just doesn't really need a specific reason. You see opponent, something for him to do for his guild, and then go do it. And then Scullion has, like, you know, the obvious scene prior with Gray, and it would make sense why Gray would want to seek him out of all things. So those things could obviously happen, but I mean, they could obviously just stay down. But in terms of what I would like in the next chapter and where things I'm gonna see is like with the Dogremag aspect, I mean, it's just like, well, Dogremag, you know, fight continues. Sweet. It'd be cool to get more to his character, like I said, but I think more in terms of what's more interesting to kind of like, what's more interesting really when you look at like terms of events, because I think that the Dogremag fight should be like in the human form. I think it should be kind of stretched for a bit, because the dragon form is obviously where the real power and real show is. So for his human form, I think we should have that kind of like more over a set period of time, and then get to his dragon form once things kind of get serious. Like kind of have a couple other fights going on to where we just kind of see over to this fight every once in a while, and then once it's like, okay, we get a little serious, maybe focus on human Dogromag for a bit, and then go dragon form, have other characters show up and aid. That's like the most lucrative and beneficial kind of scenario for me, like in my head. I think that's the best way it could go, but there's still stuff in this arc that really need to get looked at. And I'd like Misaki and Kieran to keep fighting, but like one thing for sure I think we do need is Mad Mole and Skullion to have their fight with Gray and Godja, because like people like making jokes on it, but like in all seriousness, it'd be really weird for them not to get a fight. Godja especially, because like Gray was at least in the arc prior to the events like going on right now. Because it'd be like one thing if Gray just for some reason didn't really get to do much. Like he kind of got like what Natsu had in Ellen tier, where he's there, he's doing a little bit, but he doesn't really get focus. Which again, I would find very strange. But like bringing Godja in would be really weird, and that doing anything with him at all. That'd be a really strange like thing to do, because like there's always like the idea maybe he's gonna be there for the Viernes stuff. I know some people have theorized that, but it's like you bring him in a whole arc early just to stand around and then give stuff to Laxus but don't give anything to Godja. That I'd find a little strange and a little unfortunate, just because like it'd probably be cool in the long run, seem to pay off, but it'd just be like, damn, he's just kind of there in this arc. I don't want that. I'm hoping he gets like, you know, us seeing maybe fights like, again, fighting Mad Mole, have like a fight of durability and fortitude. I think that'd be pretty cool, and kind of work that in, because I mean he doesn't have a way to get around Mad Mole's durability, so a fight between them could actually still be pretty, you know, pretty on edge. We'll just have to see how it goes. We don't know enough about how Mad Mole's abilities work. We just know like obviously he's the armored dragon slayer. He's got a whole durability aspect to him. Maybe he's got more that we just haven't seen yet. Oh, that's the whole thing, making the water hard. Maybe he can do something weird with shadows. Maybe hit Godja even when he's a shadow. That'd be cool. It's like you can't just be intangible with him. You can kind of just bypass it. That'd be a cool thing for him. But anyway, other than that though, tell me your thoughts about things below. Again, it's copium on the idea of like the Diablos members getting up. It's a degree of copium, but it's also like I could see it happening, but I could also see them just staying down and us getting to the Dogromag stuff. If we get to the Dogromag stuff, like all I'll say is like I really hope that Dogromag gets a lot of well treatment, because Misaki right now still doesn't look good. She's still kind of in the mud for her underestimation of Urza, and Kieran still I think looks fine. It's just like if the ending to his fight was that quick, because it's like the stuff buildup was good, but it's like we just didn't really get a long fight, and I think he deserves like a little bit of long fight, unless this wasn't supposed to be the final fight. This was supposed to just be the point where Laxus gets a win, and maybe we'll get their serious fight with a third round to settle the tie. Then we'll get more from him there, or when they team up. Like it's Kieran's character is still at a spot where it's like, yeah, he's fine. We just need to see where it goes from here. Like what exactly is Mishima planning to do with him? He gave him a backstory, so it's like he's got to have some plans for him. I don't know. Either way, comment below. Thumbs up the video for the like button, subscribe, and check out my other videos. But that, please join me, subscribe, and thank you all for listening. Bye.